slap the name Mauve on anything, it's coming home with me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm getting a little bit of a late start today because funny story. Sometimes I record on Thursdays, other times I record on Fridays. It was looking like more that I was going to be recording on Friday, but I just found out that Dennis is working from home tomorrow, and you know what that means. Whenever Dennis, my husband, works from home, I just cannot record an episode. I don't know what it is. Just when other people are around, I just freeze up and I can't talk to you. I can't talk to a camera. I can't talk to you guys. It's crazy making. So he just got back to me. He said, I'm working from home tomorrow. So I said, all right, I know it's 2:00 in the afternoon, but setting up and we're recording today. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. If you are a new viewer, welcome. This is a channel where I sit down and chat about what I've been knitting and lately what I've been quilting and sewing and all that good stuff. So if that's your jam, you are definitely in the right place. Gather around, grab a cup of something, because we're gonna get into things. Although I will say that this may be a rather short episode because yeah, I feel like I've been working on a lot of things lately. I have a lot of projects going on. I mean, I have some knitting projects going on, more than one, obviously. I have more than one quilting projects going on, and I have English paper piecing going on. So I've been dabbling here and there in all the things. But this week, I am primarily going to share with you some new projects, believe it or not. Yes, we have some new cast-ons. We have new projects in the works, and also some new yarn acquisitions. That is what I'm going to be talking about today. But it occurred to me while I was editing last week's video, I did not talk about that elephant in the room. I finished a sweater, I talked all about that, but I did get a couple of comments from people wondering what the heck Margot the mannequin was wearing last week. And so I apologize for not talking about it. So she's wearing the same thing this week. She's wearing the Birds of a Feather shawl, a beautiful pattern by Andrea Mowry. I knit this, I want to say 3 years ago, definitely pre-pandemic. Yeah, just such just a wonderful, wonderful pattern, easy to follow. A couple of violet rows in there, but you know, nothing one could not manage. It is knit in my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in 2 different bases. One is my Ghost Lace base, which is a lace weight mohair silk blend, and Nouveau, which is my 100% superwash merino single ply, dyed in the aptly named I Am No Bird colorway. See what I did there? I Am No Bird plus Birds of a Feather shawl. Yes. And yes, my I Am No Bird colorway, which is named after Jane Eyre, one of my favorite gothic novels of all time, just hands down one of my favorite novels ever. I did take a break from knitting with mohair for a while, so consequently I stopped dyeing on my Ghost Lace base, but I have been receiving quite a few requests for this kit in particular, so I am going to be bringing it back again. I know I just dyed it a couple weeks ago, and they sold out. They sold like hotcakes. Thank you so much to everybody who purchased a kit. And I will be dyeing another round very, very soon. So watch this space, sign up for my newsletter, which I will link to down below, where you can get all the details and be notified when the kit will be back in the shop. So yay! So I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's all I want to say about my Birds of a Feather shawl. You know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing that I'm a bit more snappier in the afternoon. Maybe I should record in the afternoons more often. I don't know. I just feel more with it. I mean, I am a morning person. I love waking up early, but at the same time, I don't think my brain is in full gear when I sit down to record sometimes. But yeah, I kind of like recording in the afternoon. Maybe I will try it again. But yes, anyway, getting to works in progress. Last week I shared an FO. I finished my Ranunculus. Thank you so much to everybody who left wonderful compliments about it. Seriously, such an enjoyable make. But when one finishes a project, another one immediately must hop on the needles or the crochet. Ooh, bumblebee. Last weekend was OIS Day, local yarn shop day, where you go to a yarn shop, you hang out, you might buy some yarn. Basically, it's a day to celebrate your favorite local yarn shops. And my new local yarn shop happens to be Pick Up Every Stitch in Mount Kisco. I'm actually in Portchester, so that's about a 20-minute drive. Anyway, there are several yarn shops that I still need to go hit up and check out, but so far I've been to Pick Up Every Stitch. Love that shop to death. It is such a pleasure and a joy to shop there, to knit there, to hang out, meet new knitters, and yeah, anyway, LYS Day was fantastic. My friend Tanya came up from Manhattan, and then we drove over there to meet up with Jonna from Knit Together with Jonna and Kim, and then Katy from Katy Did Bags, and then Tara from Crystal Teen Knits. And I did meet some viewers, so hello. It was so great running into you. Thank you so much for saying hello. Like seriously, it's so wild. It blows my mind. Like just going anywhere, walking into a yarn shop and getting to meet viewers. It's like the world is so small. It really is, and it makes me so happy, and I'm completely blanking on your names. Again, I completely suck at remembering names, but just know that I truly enjoyed getting to meet you, and so appreciate you coming up and saying hello and getting to chat with you. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. But yes, LYS Day, it was such a good day. And, one of the first days that I actually got to hang out with other knitters in person. I mean, the place was mobbed. We were all just so glad to be in each other's company again, just sitting around knitting, having a conversation. And it was like the pandemic never happened. It was just there was no gap between. It was like things were back to normal, and it felt so good. But anyway, after I walked in, they have tables set up where you can sit down and knit, and then on those tables they have samples, like hand knit samples on display. And I zeroed in on this one sweater, just folded up very nicely there, and I zeroed in on it because it was mauve. I mean, I'm like a magpie to mauve. It's gonna happen. I'm just gonna go right to the mauve. And I picked up the sweater and I fell head over heels in love with it. I knew I had to knit it. And I asked a staff member there who, by the way, the staff, so incredibly helpful. They go above and beyond to help you with anything. I mean, I basically said, I would love to knit this this sweater, how can I make it happen? So they looked up the yarn quantities that I needed, they looked up the pattern for me, they did all the maths, which they truly didn't have to do, but they did it anyway because they're just so wonderful. And the pattern in question is the Badger in Bloom by Anne Ventzel. And yeah, it's just a very simple pullover with very simple color work. And the yarn that I picked up for this, it's going to be the same exact yarn that the sample was knit out of because I just couldn't help it. Oops, wrong project bag. Let me see, it's in this bag right here. It's this yarn by, you've probably seen this floating around, but it's by Sandnesgarn Koss. And these are the two colorways that I'm going to be using. I mean, look at that. It's almost, let me see, I'll tell you the fiber content in here. It's 62% baby alpaca, 9% wool, and 29% nylon. And can we just have a moment? Yeah, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's almost like a chain knit. It's so pretty and has like this gorgeous, gorgeous halo. I cannot get away from the floof, guys. It's alpaca, but the halo on this is incredible. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just right. It's very Goldilocks. But yeah, and the price point, you cannot beat it. It's $11 US, but the lovely ladies working in the shop did the math for me, so I picked up 5 skeins, or I think I picked up 6 skeins of this, which is the 3161 color. It's kind of like a bunny rabbit brown, just a really lovely bunny brown. And then this one, the mauve, which is going to be the contrasting color in the color work, is colorway number 4342. Yeah, I'm so smitten, guys. It is so beautiful. And, a couple of you who are familiar with Anne Ventzel's patterns said that they err on the side of complicated. And I was like, oh goodness, what am I getting myself into? Because lately these days I am all about the easy peasy. Like I just don't have the capacity right now to work on complicated knits. I just, It seemed like a simple, straightforward, top-down pullover with a little bit of color work over here. I'm like, how hard can it be? How hard? No, not hard, Kristen. Not hard at all. You just have to learn how to do an Italian cast on and you'll be on your way. It's never as easy as just doing a long tail cast on, is it? The benefits of doing an Italian cast on is that it's basically a knit and purl cast on. So you're creating one knit stitch and one purl stitch cast on, which is great for ribbing, especially 1x1 ribbing, which the Badger and Bloom has you do. So, I took it upon myself. I sat there and I learned how to do it. And, it's one of those cast-ons, kind of like the German twisted cast-on, where you're doing acrobatics with your thumb and your finger and going in and out with your needle. Anyway, I sincerely don't have the patience for those types of cast-ons, and I just kind of avoid them at all costs. So I really tried. I sat there and I did, like, after 3 tries, I got it, but it wasn't perfect. There were a couple of hiccups within my cast on. I finally got so frustrated with it, I just gave it a timeout. I didn't throw it across the room, but I just kind of chucked it off to the side. I'm like, I'm done. Came back to it about an hour later and just said, you know what? I'm just going to do a long tail cast on. Why am I making this hard for myself? It's just to make the ribbing look a little more seamless. Anyway, the knitting police is not going to come over there and, ogle my cast on. It's just there for aesthetics, honestly. So came back to it and just did my usual long tail cast on, and yeah, we've got neck ribbing. So here we are. And of course I'm not swatching, because I'm knitting a 40-inch bust size. As you know, I like my sweaters to have a lot of positive ease. I kind of like them to be cozy and comfy and oversized. Honestly, I'm not concerned about shaping, so I'm just running with it. So I'm using the recommended needle size. For the cast on, it's a US 7, which I believe is a 4.5 millimeter needle. And I'm using my Chiaogoo Shorties for this, which is perfect. It's absolutely perfect for neckline cast-ons. I am using the longest needle size, and the longest cable for the neckline. But love my shorties for necklines, for hats, for sleeves. Not so much socks, but for everything else. I love these shorties. They definitely come in handy, and I'm very pleased with my purchase. So yeah, that is where I am with the Badger and Bloom. And I should mention that I have never heard of Anne Ventzel before, or her patterns. Completely new to me. It was definitely a moment where I was like, what log have I been living under? Because all of her patterns speak to my soul on so many levels. They're just so very minimalistic. They're just very clean lines, but almost modern lines. Lately, I know I err on the side of Victorian. I love all things Victorian, Edwardian, antique, and all that good stuff. But when it comes to fashion, I definitely have a side where I like wearing, just simple, minimalistic, modern stuff, and then dress up when I feel like it, and her patterns definitely speak to that. I love them so much. So I will leave a link to her shop right there. I'm not sure if you can purchase her patterns on Ravelry. I believe they're only available to purchase through her online shop. So again, I'll leave a link down below. So yeah, that is where I am with my Badger and Bloom. And they're living... My goodness, you guys. They're living in this very special, very beautiful project bag that was recently gifted to me. Can we just have a moment? I mean, look how beautiful. Tassel. Love the tassel. This was a gift from my new friend Ashley, who lives in my area. She reached out, as soon as I moved here, I received the most wonderful emails from people in the area saying that, hey, welcome to the area. If you ever want to meet up, let me know. I'm, in your area, and yeah, it would be great to meet up and have a knit or a cup of coffee or something. And Ashley was one of those people, and I'm so glad she reached out, because we got together yesterday and just had a really wonderful conversation over coffee and knitting. And she gifted me this beautiful project bag, and has her logo right here, Pearl Magnolia. She's actually Pearl Magnolia on Instagram. And yeah, seriously, Ashley, thank you so much. It was so great to finally meet you and yeah, meet a new friend in the area. I mean, again, knitters, they're everywhere and they are truly wonderful. So yeah, anyway, this is where my Badger in Bloom is going to live for the foreseeable future until it's all done. And yeah, last week I shared some granny square crochet cardigans that I was thinking about casting on, specifically the one by Patons Australia. However, according to Ravelry, that pattern had been discontinued. It's no longer in publication. I was really bummed and seriously considering just reverse engineering it because it seems relatively easy to replicate. You know, all it is granny squares just grafted together and, you know, just connected through fishnet granny crochet. I'm not explaining it right, but trust me when I say in my mind, it all made sense. Plus, on Ravelry, they give you the crochet size hook and the type of yarn to use. So, you know, it all seemed very doable until a very lovely, generous viewer pinged me and said, you know, hey, I live in Australia and my LYS happens to have that very same pattern. Would you like me to send it to you? To which I replied, absolutely, yes, that would be amazing. You are a queen. So, again, knitters, crocheters, fiber people. What a world we live in. It's truly wonderful. And while that pattern is winging its way over to me, I went ahead and started on my granny squares. And I'm making a bit of progress, guys. I have about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, I have 5 so far. And I'm seriously thinking of making them all in this color scheme. I bought a whole bunch of yarn, which I'll show you in a second. Several different colors because I couldn't really decide. But after making a couple of these, I'm kind of sold on the peach and rust. So here's one granny square. So there's like a linen shade right here, and then it bleeds out into a very light peach, and then a darker peach, and then this coral rust, I want to say, or brick red, and then black, which is going to be the main color holding everything together. And then for the other one, I just reversed the colors, and now it has a dark center, so it goes from dark to light, whereas this one goes from light to dark. And the yarn that I'm using for this is, let me get my bag. It's all living in my bag by Katy Did. Just all the yarn. I mean, it's perfect for this project, really, truly. So the yarn that I'm using is by Shepias. It's by Shepias Katona, and it's 100% cotton fingering weight. So this is one of the other colorways that I purchased. It's the antique mauve. I mean, slap the name mauve on anything, it's coming home with me. I mean, there's no, it's a disease. I can't help it. It's, you name it mauve and I'm all over it. Even though this, I don't know, I would liken it more to like a very light pink taupe, if that makes any sense. It's hardly mauve, but you know, it says mauve, so I believe them. I believe what they say. If they say it's mauve, it's mauve. I'm not going to ask any questions, but I absolutely love the label. Look how pretty that is. And the price point on this yarn, $3 a skein. I think you can get it less elsewhere, but I was able to find all the colors that I was looking for on Jimmy Bean's wool. And yeah, it was, you know, they have a huge selection over there, so I was able to just come away with all the colors that I wanted. But this is one of the colors that I purchased, and then another one that I purchased was this silver green. Yeah, so I don't know if these are going to make it into the cardigan. I'm still noodling around, playing around with different color schemes. I did make another one. Just out of the mauve and the purples, and there's some gray in there too. This is the right side. So while I love this, I really do love the color play in this as well. But I feel like it really wouldn't gel. I mean, I guess it could. But I feel like this is going in one direction and this is going in the other. And I feel like this would have to be a separate project. So anyway, there's a method to my madness for sure, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should, you know, mix and match different colors together or stick purely with the orange peach color scheme happening in here? Let me know. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I'll shut up now and move along to the blather segment where I chat about what's happening in my life, should you care to stick around. Yeah. Same story, guys. We are settling in. We're still getting our ducks in a row. We are done with the bathroom renovation, so we now have new shower floors. They're beautiful. We don't have leaks. There's no cracks. Tile isn't just popping up off everywhere. It mischief managed. However, we do have to still take care of the roof situation. So Dennis and I have just been, talking, like getting quotes from all these different companies, looking at samples, and yeah, again, we live in a Tudor revival. Beautiful, beautiful house. It has the original 1920s slate roof, but it is in serious disrepair. So that's what we've been up to the past few weeks, just, looking at roof slate samples and all that good stuff. And yeah, just really enjoying the foliage, or not the foliage. The foliage is when the leaves turn colors, but spring is here, where everything is turning green. The leaves are all on the trees, the grass is growing in, the flowers are blooming. It's wonderful, guys. We have rabbits, lots and lots of rabbits. I've never, they are the new pigeon. I mean, in Brooklyn we'd have rats and pigeons. Here we have bunny rabbits and cardinals and doves. Today, my craft room is slowly but surely coming together. I hung a curtain in front of my window to, shade some of the light that pours in. I did treat myself to a little anthro. I got a really pretty Victorian looking, well, I should say Art Nouveau looking curtain with a little tie back that, just everything together with my desk. It's making me so happy, guys. It really is. It really is. It is probably going to be quite some time before I get to hang the wallpaper, but I did get a new shelf unit that should be here next week from Target. It's this big apothecary-looking unit. I don't know. It's white. It looks very shabby chic. It has like the little label things that you can put like labels on each cubby. It looks really cool, guys. I can't wait for it to get here, but I think that's gonna replace this thing in the back, and it's gonna look, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we see. I'm very excited and the like. But anyway, I am going to end things there. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. Again, if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure every week, and I am planning on actually filming or recording. Do people film things anymore? Truly, I would love to know if there are YouTubers out there that film and then post their films to, anyway. Mind is scampering off into other areas. But anyway, until the next video, have a wonderful weekend, happy knitting, and I will see you next time. Bye!